guys, and thanks for checking out another Imagine Landscapes video. Today, I want to talk about 3 knitting podcasts I love to listen to. Now, I can't always knit, so sometimes I listen to knitting podcasts while I'm doing other things. It makes me sort of spread the knitting love throughout my life. These 3 make me feel like I'm sitting with a bunch of friends and having a great time in knitting, even though I don't have needles in my hands. So, let's talk about them. The first one is Prairie Girls Knit and Spin. Prairie Girl Danny and Prairie Girl Susie are fantastic. They have just an incredible camaraderie. They really like each other and they're fun. They make each other laugh. And that's important to me because real life is grim enough. These 2 are just really fun. They clearly care for each other really deeply and they do a really great job of talking about their knitting, which isn't always easy to do. So that's Prairie Girls Knit and Spin. Podcast 2 is Boston Jen's Down Cellar Studio. Now, Down Cellar Studio is a great podcast because Jen loves knitting for her friends, loves knitting for her family, loves knitting for herself. She crochets as well. She's got a lot of content with a really big heart, and that's something that she just really is able to convey in an incredible way. She also hosts the Pigskin Party Knit Along, which is one of the biggest knit alongs in the year as far as I'm concerned. It runs the entire duration of the NFL season. Now, as a Canadian and as a soccer fan, this theme is not really compelling to me, but the idea of working with a whole bunch of awesome and energized knitters who are really working on being creative and having a great time, and the idea of scoring points for yardage and then based on my points getting entered for prizes, that's pretty compelling. And it's a really nice knit along because nobody tells you what to knit or what to knit it with. It's completely up to you what you make, whether you knit or crochet, and what yarns you use, what patterns you use. It's just about the energy of the group and making what makes you happy. So that's fabulous. That's Boston Jen, and her podcast is the Down Cellar Studio. Podcast number 3 is the Yarn Iax. This is 2 more friends. They live in California. Gail and Charlene, they are very thoughtful knitters and really like to discuss knitting in depth. They talk about sweater knitting a lot. So if you are someone looking to get into garment knitting or who just obsesses about garments already, this is a fabulous podcast to listen to 2 people who know quite a bit about knitting and about the styles that flatter them, talking about garments and about knitting and about yarn in a really relaxed environment. Sometimes they record in their car and sit out at the edge of the ocean and watch dolphins play, and that's pretty magical from someone from landlocked Manitoba, Canada. There is ocean in Manitoba, but it is inaccessible except by airplane at the moment because Churchill's train line washed out. So Churchill, while it is on the ocean, is very far away from me, and I don't feel like I'm in a province on the ocean in any way. So their habit of sometimes recording by the ocean seems really compelling. So which knitting podcasts are your favorite? I'm always looking to hear about new ones. These 3 are all audio podcasts because that way I can go out of the house and do chores and do this, that, and the other. So if you want to recommend both audio or video, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If you want to hear more about my patterns, check out imaginelandscapes.com. And actually, you can also check out the podcast I do with my sister there. It's an audio podcast called Imagine Landscapes, of all things. Have a great day and happy knitting.